Yes. Uh, Chapter 3, The Talking Point with Mr. Priyam Thakkar. Let me just. Yes, Priyam is online already, and we will have him.
Okay, I've just patched it with Priyam. Okay, hi Priyam.
Hi, Javid, how are you?
All right, we can just start it right away.
Yes, we can, definitely.
Okay. So, hello viewers, welcome to the third chapter of the Talking Point, wherein I talk with the experts representing various professions. Law is something that every individual has to deal right from the very first moment of his or her existence in this physical world. Everyone has to act according to the law of the land, failing which he or she is subject to jurisprudence, which is available through the courts of law. Today, we will discuss issues which assume great importance in the present business environment where transactions take place on daily basis. I will take up these critical issues in great detail with today's expert, Mr. Priyam Thakkar, who is partner at Thakkar and Associates, a law firm engaged in providing legal assistance in criminal and civil matters. So, without much delay, let's welcome our guest of today, Mr. Priyam Thakkar. Hi, Priyam. Welcome with us on live. Please tell us about yourself and your firm. Myself and our viewers are eagerly waiting.
Thank you, Javid, for making this and giving us this opportunity. And I'm looking forward to give meaningful content in this field where it's a very vast, as if everyone knows, it's a very deep depth, right? And I would like to throw some points on the legal points in this, where my firm, which carries out and face what kind of basic facilities we give here and whatsoever. So yeah, we can just go started with and I will try to cover as many as points we can,
That was very modest
yeah.
introduction of your firm and yourself as an advocate. So without much delay, I would like to start and jump onto the directly to the first point of discussion, which is 138. In
Oh,
common
yes.
parlance, it is called 138, but it is the
138.
section of Negotiable Instrument Act, which generally deals with dishonor, or you can say commonly return of checks and such
Return
other
of check.
financial instruments. So my
True.
first question to you is, the businesses are the key factors of any financial transaction. Because of businesses there are financial transactions, and they extensively use this financial network and financial instruments in day-to-day routine functioning of their businesses. So do you expect that due to this overall disruption that the coronavirus situation has caused, there will be great number of spike in the number of disputes arising out of dishonor or return of financial instrument, especially the checks? What are your views on that?
So generally, Javier, what is it right now? Gradually, there is a shift of electronic modes as everyone is now started using Paytm, Google Pay, and all sort of mediums that are available now. But Surat is still working on slightly conventional system, and the
Right.
method, yeah, and the method of doing that business is mainly on PDC systems, that is post-dated checks in markets, and it's a huge market hub in Surat. We all see that uh, Surat textile market is dealing only with giving the credits of 60 days or 160 days or 120 days. So there will be chances where now checks of dishonors will be more in crisis. And aftermath of COVID-19, people have to face slowing sales, first of all, and weaker consumer demand and credit crisis and disrupted money rotation claims. So now the problem is there will be results in breach of trust among the stakeholders and the business partners and people dealing with credits in the markets. So delay in payments and clumsy financial environment will increase the check dishonors. So I would throw some light on this that people who are dealing with 120 credit system or 60 credit system, party સામેથી આવીને આપી જાય 60 days or 120 days, no PDC checks. And now the situation arises in Corona times. So there will be major, we see that there will be major dishonors of checks because the rotation of the money is not happening right now. So I am like getting that vibes that yes, there will be some major crisis in dishonors of checks, and there will be multiple piled up cases of 138 in near future.
So, according to Priyam, there will be a protracted litigation as far as financial transactions are concerned, and definitely the courts have to be prepared for such issues that will be coming in the near future. My next question will be to dive into the 138 little more in detail. So I will take three aspects. Since lawyers represent the complainant's angle, lawyers represents the defendant's angle, and even a lawyer is a judge. So there are three perspectives at work. So I will take one by one. Firstly, let's see from the complainant's angle. Suppose I am a businessman and I am dealing in some supposedly textile product which is common in Surat city, and I am doing some legitimate transactions. And definitely my funds have got stuck due to the non-payment things. But I have certain checks, like you mentioned, that since I have given a credit period of 60 to 120 days, I have checks with me. But the buyer is in no mood to make the payment by making a misuse or some false excuse under the pretext of this COVID scenario. So I am a genuine person doing my legitimate business. So what are the defenses, or you can say what are the ingredients I will need to create a good case for winning in 138 matter?
So in general sense, we talk about check means is an acknowledgement of bill of exchange that is readily accepted in a lieu of payment or a money or any negotiable instruments. Like large number of cases right now involving in dishonors of check and is choking our criminal justice system. So checks are being used for a longer period of time and are being used as a mode of conviction and a transferring money. So now talking about the game, favorable results under 138, I would like to state that firstly, the main ingredient should be maintaining of your GSTs, income tax accounts. That are the main ingredients when you are throwing some goods, are people are buying goods and getting the PDC checks. You are doing those amounts of checks and you are dealing with those things. You have to be very precise about your income tax returns, your GST accounts now, because whatever we see on books, evidence are created accordingly. Because 138 is a very technical matter. It is not that it's just a fraud done, took money, and it's not like that. It is a very technical term. So we have to deal it very technically. And the courts are also courts have been into the technical terms where only matters is the accounts which are being handled that are true and which are not false and not fabricated, and they are being used properly. Secondly, there is a main ingredient in the primary criteria as always evidence to establish that prayers owns in a money is a question. There is an option of civil suit also. But civil suit, what will civil suit do? That will longer your periods for 5 to 6 years. Now, here where we talk about 138 criminal cases, people are mind to give their 2 to 3 years minimum of that so that they can get away with the transactions that have been dealing with. Third, I would like to add up is selection of a lawyer and a law firm is a main ingredient where the important factor of the presentation of a case in the court of law is necessary. Now, lawyers should ensure inordinate delay to case does not take that place, right? And should present always to the opposite party, which cannot present always the base and use a weapon delaying cases. What happens is we give our cases to a person who is practicing into 138 and then he just ignores and summons nathi avtu ke pachi the party ne maltu nathi and party court avti nathi, this all that all matters happens. So selection of a lawyer is very, very, very important ingredient in that, because old phrase says that justice delayed is justice denied after all. So this is all things that matters. And there's a one very good amendment that has been given by the Supreme Court in Negotiable Instrument Act. That is one section for 143A, which says that when the accused is already presented in the court by summoned and is summoned in the court, he has to pay minimum 20% of the case before starting his trial. So the complainant is half, like 20% he's relaxed that his money has been deposited in the court of law, and now he has to go for 80% only. So all this matters, where 138 has been initially picked up the case, and now people are believing that no, we can recover our money through 138, because what happens is, once your 20% of amount has been deposited in the court, right? So the accused will say that now I will have to fight for the case. Neither I have to do the settlement, whatever it is. But yes, I have to do it because my 20% of the case, my 20% of the money has already been deposited in the court. So these all the factors which are on the complainant sides have been majorly uprooted.
Nice. So
Yeah.
viewers, I would like to draw your attention what Priyam said, that he gave main three ingredients of a good complaint in terms of 138 to prove the legitimacy of your debt, or you can say legal enforceable debt to establish it. So first, your books of accounts should be updated. They should reveal the true and fair picture of the transaction that has happened. That is the genuine transaction on which you have paid income tax. And if it is a business transaction, then it is covered under the provisions of GST. Second, you should hire a good lawyer or a law firm who is excellent in defending cases on the evidence value of your 138 check matter. Not just a check, but entire transaction, evidence by evidence. Thirdly, definitely the Honorable Supreme Court has given this remedial, what you can say, 143A section amendment, in which the accused had to unconditionally deposit the amount before the honorable trial court to get the, you can say that to fight the case ahead, without which he cannot proceed further in his defense. So the court becomes the custodian of that 10-20%. The accused has his stakes involved. He just cannot play a table tennis with the court proceedings, and the complainant can get a fair trial. So please note these things down. Moving on to my next question, Mr. Priyam. Now you have told about the legal remedies available with the complainant. But since Surat is the city of trust, there are two types of transactions. I would like to elaborate it to my viewers who are very smart enough. There is called Pakka transaction and there is a Kacha transaction. Now what happens that I am a off the books lender. I am a Sharaf. I lend money to some trader which is in cash, which is not accounted for in my books of accounts. So I don't have to pay taxes. Now what happens? I lend someone and then ask him, you have to give me some security. In which sometimes I receive these 138 negotiable instruments, or you can say the checks. In such situation, though my money is in cash, it is out of evaded money, I can definitely accept it. But does that prove to be a good defense for me? Or what I have to do to make my transaction defendable?
See, normally a criminal case under 138 Act is for money payable towards any kind of outstanding debt or which check is issued to get dishonor, right? Now, but if you raise a probable defense which creates doubts about existence of a legally enforceable debt or a liability of evidences and material facts, which is sustainable. Now, talking about this Sharaf, હવે આજે આપણને એમ કહે છે કે શરાફ આપણને વ્યાજે પૈસા આપે છે ને એના માટે સિક્યોરિટીના પૈસા આપણી પાસેથી લઈ છે, તો સિક્યોરિટીના ચેક્સ આપણી પાસે લઈ છે, Now, once I have taken a lakh rupee from you, now you are not a you're a regular person. Now you don't have any license with you of giving me lakh rupees. Now I give you back those lakh rupees, but I take a certain amount of receipt, or I can give you a transaction where I can show up in my income taxes that I have paid Jaivir Mehta a lakh rupee, which I have took 2-3 months before. So these all the transactions, and in this kind of clauses where our side જે આપણું આપવાનું જે પૈસા આપવાના જે દેખાતા હોય, જે આપણા books of accounts માં દેખાતા હોય, that is on our side, because in courts at the end, as I said before, evidences plays the main role. આપણા
Right.
books of accounts, આપણા books of accounts જો અગર આપણે સેટલ કરતા હોઈએ, આજે તમે મને લાખ રૂપિયા આપો છો, તો લાખ રૂપિયાના સામે તમે મારા સિક્યોરિટી, તો હું પાછી તમારા સિક્યોરિટી, હું જ્યારે તમને લાખ રૂપિયા આપું તો તમે એટલીસ્ટ લોકો શું કરે છે કે ટ્રસ્ટમાં ભાઈ ચેક રાખી મૂકો ને, કઈ નહીં, I will take it later on, or at the time મારી પાસે નથી, ઓફિસમાં છે કે ઘરે છે. These all are excuses that we used to listen, and then ultimately it gets dishonored, and then it goes to the court. So all these things matters. Well, now after all this COVID-19 and all, we will have a act, that is force majeure act, where there will be circumstances arise beyond the control, which can be produced as an argument yield with the benefits for accused to come to the criminal case, but yes, its liability to pay shall remain, right? So આ બધી clauses એવા છે કે you can of course delay the matters, but once you can do it in a proper way, there are no chances that you are not winning the case, because
Right.
until and unless it's a very technical matter, and technical matter ma tamare already you have to show your books of accounts that are to be very strong. First of all, my only focus and only my clients ke હું મારા viewers ને એ જ કહું કે તમારા books of accounts જો strong હોય and you are dealing with everything in a white, there are no chances that you are getting fraud with anybody. If it's a sharaf or it's a normal businessman or whosoever, but your books of accounts should be managed accordingly, where these technical terms cannot destroy you.
So I would like to draw attention of my dear viewers that if you are on the complaining side or if you are on the defense side, the hard line of this financial dispute is your legitimate transaction, which
Yes,
can
yes.
only be checked, verified, questioned, or you can say defended only and only through the books of accounts.
Accounts.
Make
True.
those audited. If you are not falling into audit, then make sure that they reflect true and fair picture of your business. So
True.
moving on to the third point, you mentioned in the earlier answers also, but I would like to genuinely ask you as a lawyer that how long will it take for a 138 matter to come to its logical conclusion, ideally in real life?
So there is no fixed rule bar in practice for criminal cases under 138 section to reach its logical conclusion. But yeah, in broader sense, it takes 2 to 3 years, basically. And there's a solution for mediation also, where people like you and other businessmen who would not like end up going to courts and would like, if you are a genuine payer, you would like settle it off like, yeah, just mediation ma will settle it out outside the court, or you can just contact a lawyer via notices, and you just can meet each other and you can just settle it out. So these are all basic things, but yeah, it generally takes 2 to 3 years in a broader sense.
Yeah. So 2 to 3 years is going to take if you want to seek justice or you want to carry on the dispute. But a learned person like Priyam is also mentioning that there is always room for settlement. As far as financial transactions are involved, it is good to get your dispute settled if it is solvable in any sense. If the enmity is too deep, then definitely you should seek justice in the court of law. Otherwise, you should not waste the time of the honorable court and
Yeah.
professional like Mr. Priyam Thakkar.
Unless and until you are genuine. If not genuine, then you should definitely win the case and go for the case thing. But yeah, you have to pay it for circumstances you couldn't, and your check gets dishonored, and you don't want to get into that criminal justice and courts and blah blah blah. You can definitely opt for the settlement things. Yeah.
Right. Now coming to a very important legal development that has happened during the lockdown phase. I have just heard about it. I have not gone into the black and white research paper or white paper into it. That the government, in order to promote the ease of doing business in India, is contemplating decriminalizing of this 138 check disputes. Can you throw a little light on it and make our viewers more aware about it? What is the present status of that discussion and how the legal fraternity is taking the entire issue?
See, the thing is, the attempt to improve business settlements in India, central government has initiated process for decriminalizing. So now the several acts that are currently listed in economic offenses punishable, there are with jail terms or fine or both. But if amended or legislated, bouncing a check, bouncing a check on non-criminal act, there will be possibilities in COVID-19 pandemic and economic distress failure that decriminalizing will divide the trade. That is, big houses will be ease of doing businesses, but the lower businessmen have no opportunity to get justice in this. I will explain you how. આજે તમે મોટા big houses છો and you end up giving 5 lakhs rupees, 10 lakhs rupees in the PDC amounts. And now what happens is, if this decriminalizing happens, this will directly transfer to civil suit.
Right.
Now what civil suit happens is, it will go to 5 to 6 years ultimately. And this decriminalizing, there will be no fear of getting into jail, or there is no fine. People right now has fear of going to jail because this is a non-cognizable offense where you have to go to jail, end up going jail if you have proved guilty in this. True. So people will have no fear in this. People will be given like, चल હું તને ચેક આપી દઉં 5 લાખના 10 લાખના ચેક મને માલ આપી દે, મને આટલા પૈસાની લોનની ઉધાર છે, પછી we will start it out. There will be no remedy for people like short people, like smaller businessmen, કે ભાઈ આજે જે લોકોને ધંધો કરવો હોય તે ધંધો કરવા માટે કોઈની પાસેથી લોન પૈસા લેતા હોય ને એને સિક્યોરિટી માટે ચેક આપે, and then later on they get fraud easily and then end up paying nothing. So I guess central government should think properly in this circumstances where checks does not get decriminalized. Right now there are no statements has been given from the central government, or now let's see what PM Modi see what he does. But I don't think so. If it happens, it will be a very bad effect on the cases and which are going on right now. But if it happens, I don't think so it will sustain more. So now let's see, it all happens on the central government.
But I would like to ask a follow-up question to this. You have given a very narrow perspective. I would like to think upon it in another sense, that decriminalizing check disputes, will it not encourage person who is lending the money or person who is receiving the money to take use or advantage of the banking route rather than going for cash? Because everybody will be fearful that check is just a mere piece of paper and it won't be of much help. Let me do a banking transaction and give him loan whatsoever, or take money through loans or something like that through banking route. So is it not a food for thought for entire business fraternity as well?
It's a very thoughtful process to do that also, because nowadays people have, and earlier I told, people have started using the mediums like Paytm and Google Pay and all, and they have started using bank transfers. But what happens is, India is such a country where everyone has બે નંબરના પૈસા બહુ દબાવીને બધા જ બેઠા છે, to be very frank, and everybody knows. તો લોકોને બે નંબરના પૈસા ફરાવવામાં there will be a problem. કે કેવી રીતના આપણે એને ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન ને મૂવ કરીએ from one account to second account. So there will be some like kind of ways will be unbalanced. But so if at all people think that ways in a broader sense, I would definitely encourage this decriminalizing. But yes, the fear factor of giving the checks then too will be one of the hell of the question will arise. કે આજે હું પૈસા આપી દઉં, ચાલો પછી જોવાઈ જશે, મારો ચેક જ છે ને, પ્રોમિસરી નોટ આપી દઉં છું લખીને કે મને 5 લાખ રૂપિયા ઉધાર આપી દે. It all will it's not going to sustain more, because
Right.
here we do businesses in trust, and breach of trust happens between own brothers only. Nowadays in families only breach of trust are happening. So we cannot assure that it's going to happen whenever I lend to somebody of money of lakh rupees also or 20,000 rupees also. So I have a mixed feelings towards this kind of statements that are being passed from the central government. Then it upon, like, it depends on the central government how it takes. We are always positive for that, and we will work always with the positive vibe only.
Wow. To sum it up, my first topic, that is 138, is that always focus on the genuinity of your books of accounts and your business transactions. Hire a good law firm to take care of all these issues. Also, don't enter into cash transactions more. Perform banking route, use banking route, so you don't have to go to this 138 or something like that, which could entangle you in some legal formalities. Secondly, don't waste the time of court of law, and let them focus on some other graver issues and just do your business smoothly. Now, my next topic of today's discussion is in intellectual property rights, which is a very, you can say, trending point,
Trending,
because
very
because
trending.
India is just like Israel, is going to be
Yeah.
next destination. Then for any startup, two things are very necessary: the enterprising attitude, and second is innovation. Now, whenever
Innovation.
the matter of innovation comes, definitely you will have to deal with certain intellectual property. So
True.
now my first question comes to is, how and at what stage one should come into contact with his or her IPR consultant, which is probably a lawyer, to achieve the maximum benefits out of his business startup.
So every startup has an IP rights. True.
Right.
So it needs to be understand to protect of excelling the business. And every startup uses trademarks, designs, brands, logos, patents, like trade secrets, everything, and websites which valuable IP rights. Now, while starting any venture, it also needs to confirm that it is not violated with other person that has already used its name, or it has been already into the formation, or any to save the legal action. My main point is to say is to save the legal action. Now what happens is startups ventures has to be very proactive in developing and protecting in any form of many reasons. So, like building trust, there are some advantages. If you are a trademarker, or you have a patent, people will see you in a different vision. That is, the company is trustable. The company has to good, like, valuation of business, better goodwill. Your goodwill also increases. Why? Because the company is trademarked, the company is registered, the company has patents, the company has done certain copyrights. So to protect the competitive advantage in this competition market, IP plays a major role, where we can definitely, I definitely urge people who are into startups should always go for inventions, and inventions are to be, because it is invented by you. You have the right to do that trademark thing. And once you have trademarked, this property belongs to you. You are the owner of that thing. So later, if you are not doing that business anymore, you can definitely sell it out, or you can even keep it as a memory that, yeah, this property is of mine because I invented. So trademarks are more and more encouraging for the startups.
So you are suggesting that as soon as you are coming up with some innovation, they should do first activity is to get it registered with the regular authorities
True,
who
true.
take care of the
Actually,
trademark.
Actually, I started a new page that is called Brief the Case recently only. The first thing I have done is I have signed my own papers that I want this Brief the Case to be trademarked. Why? Because I
Right.
don't want other people to trademark this my own property which I have created. So soon, once I get the registration, I'll be keeping the TM marks and registered marks.
Nice, nice, nice. So that's a very good point to be taken into care for starting up any innovative business. Now, what advice you would like to give to startups and young entrepreneurs with some basic awareness on intellectual property rights.
See, in today's competitive environment, innovation is a mainstay of every business, right? So that leads of developments of intellectual properties. So identifying, developing, and leveraging innovations provides competitive edge and edge in longer term of success. So it is IP is not limited to tech companies like technical technological companies, but valuable. Every businesses has a huge R&D, that is research and developments. So anyone starting a new business venture, one should definitely search over the internet whether this name of patent, copyright, trademark are available or not. Whatever the case, like whatever the name I am searching for, is it available, not available? So all these things matters whenever you are into this field and you are wanted to start up. So it is the best advice to approach a consultant is a professional for filing your documents. You come to me, I'll let you know whether this IPR name is available, not available. I will guide you accordingly so that your mind gets broader. That no, I can even think in this way, I can even think in that way. So it gets into like a process, and registered and IPR is not only technical, but it always gets a techno legal document.
Acha,
Yeah.
nice. Now, a follow-up question just popped into my head that if I want to register my business process or particularly my brand logo, then on an average, how long duration it takes to get my trademark approved?
See, once you file your trademark application, once your trademark application has been entered, your filing processes, it takes minimum of 6 months. There are some stages also. There are some stages, and this all process, right? Because we are in Gujarat, it gets handled from Ahmedabad. So
Okay.
all this, yeah. So it all gets handled from Ahmedabad, and we have some stages. So approximately, I'll say to 6 to 8 months it takes to get your trademark and registered done, minimum. And unless and until if you find any objections in it, then it might goes for a year or a two.
And this entire process is at par with what is happening in the and world entirety. Just a
Just
food for thought.
just for the India, just for India.
Okay, but
It is
this
just
registration process is
yeah.
equally
Yeah, yeah,
competitive
yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Equally,
world leader.
equally. Yes, yes, yes. It is equally competitive to all over. Like you can say yes
Wow.
because I have
So
been following this.
that was very exhaustive explanation by Priyam Thakkar on the IPR issues. Definitely, IPR is beyond trademarking or copyright. It contains the trade secrets like he mentioned. So there are a lot of nitty gritties involved in this IPR practice. So I would like every startup to take care of their innovations or products which are unique in their own sense by
True.
covering it with IPR rights. Okay. Now, Priyam, I would like to go with little some basic awareness for my viewers in terms of law, because knowingly or unknowingly, everybody deals with some or the other law. Even when I'm going from my office to home or home to office or interacting with someone, there is some law involved in it. So I would like to take some basic technical points where the law comes into the play. So let me start. What legal awareness one must mandatorily have before he or she enters into a financial transaction like purchasing an immovable property like flat, land, or some other immovable property like plant and machineries, or some stock of goods, then loaning a friend or relative informally, or any business, or entering into any business contract. Basic key ingredient like that is coming from Priyam Thakkar's desk.
See, law is a very vast subject. First of all,
Yeah.
every country is governed by the set of rules of land were drafted within four boundaries of by like of law, and it's a duty of citizens of the country to abide the governing law. Now, it should be self-imposed responsibility of each and every individual to have some basic awareness of law. I must say that because once you are into things, we have to keep some basic awareness that is going around about you. So at the same time, like one should always understand all acts, deeds, transactions which are properly documented. Okay, when you start a business, individual or proprietary, or individual or a partnership firm, you always go through some documents, always do some documentary things that are being discussed with your partners, so that in your future you don't fall into any kind of litigation. This is my basic. Whatever you talk, that has to be written and that has to be submitted as a deed, so that that evidence is for you. Either you do it in a will, either you do it in a partnership deed, or either you do it in a business transaction, or taking from loans from bank, or giving a loan to a friend. So my it is a very important draft to execute document, and it's like, always ensure to register necessary wherever you find it. Keep your registers ready, so that પાર્ટનરશિપ ડીડ આજે મેં કરી છે, તો હું આજે પાર્ટનરશિપ ડીડ રજીસ્ટર્ડ કરી દઉં છું. આજે મેં તને લોનમાં એક ફ્રેન્ડને 100 રૂપિયાના સ્ટેમ્પ પર હું તને કંઈક પૈસાનું લેતી દેતી કરીએ છે, તો that also be registered via notarized, so that these things you have it as a security with you, where evidence can be in your circumstances, any circumstances, you have some things to show up. Or else
Right.
it all, yeah, then it's all like nothing. Pachi મૌખિક વાત કરવાથી there is nothing happening. So I always tell my viewers or my clients कि कई भी बातों करिए कि कई भी होए, we have to draft it and make it through a registered, so that it stays in our base.
Okay.
So this is all
So
basic
whatever
things
you
we
do,
have to do.
viewers, whatever you do, viewers, purchasing an asset, purchasing anything, purchasing, transacting into goods like business or loaning a friend, always have something written, because that will create two things. One, your defense, and secondly, it won't ruin your relationship completely.
Relationship completely, yes, true.
Yes.
And
Now, Priya, yes,
Yeah.
please.
So I was just thinking about now people will be buying properties or buying some lands, or they might have some properties. RERA registration is the most important thing that is happening right now. RERA has to be done before entering into any project or buying into any property. Because if you are at all buying property and it is not registered in RERA, I'm sure it will get you in a longer period that dastavej ke, that no value of documentation, because now government has rules very strictly and it is all online. So I must suggest કે રેરા વાલી જગ્યાઓ જે તમારી હોય, એ વાલી સિવિલ નેચર્સ ને જે લોકોને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટેડ હોય, they can definitely go for this kind of legal aid, કે રેરા registered થયું છે કે નથી થયું, have to check it, because it's the one of the most ingredient now happening in civil matters.
Right. So definitely that's a very beautiful point brought in by Priyam about the latest statute, that RERA, Real Estate Regulatory Authority. I would like to say some more things on that for our dear viewers who can be a future house buyers, shop buyers, or any immovable property buyers. Check RERA. RERA registration is very important. Even if you give a single penny in it, the builder has to report it before the RERA authority that I have received from Priyam a sum of rupees 1 lakh on this date, and I have executed a deed in favor of Priyam. The same thing, for the benefit of my viewers, I would like to say, for Gujarat, you can visit www.gujrera.gov.in, where all the projects that are registered in the RERA in entire Gujarat state, you can definitely go and view it and check all the details about the progress, about the booked inventory. Sometimes it happens that તમારો માલ, તમારી booked property 4 જણને વેચી દીધી છે builder fraudulently, but that won't happen when it comes to RERA.
To RERA, yeah. So this is the one.
So that's a very beautiful point brought in terms of immovable property. Now, Priyam, my question is, please give 4 essential legal awareness for every individual which can make him a responsible citizen.
See, right now things are going very, very, very intense right now, because of this COVID and pandemic and all distress economic times. I would like to tell people to stay away from phishing websites. People will call you. Yeah, so people will call you and ask you for loans, credit cards, and lottery calls. कि भाई आपको इतना इतना पे करना है तो आपको इतना सामने इतना मिल जाएगा. So these are all fake calls, and they try to get your credit card detail numbers or debit card detail numbers, and they eventually end up fetching your all details and whatsoever amount you have in your bank safely kept that are being transacted into their own bank accounts. So
Right.
because yeah, so these all are things that I would like to like avoid. Stop answering those calls, spam calls. Secondly, I would ask people to conducting fake news on social media can lead us to a huge problem also, because
Right.
panics are happening for small things. Panic happens, and that are created huge religious sentiments even. Plus, it is the term is called information disorder.
Uh-huh.
This term is actually called information disorder, which leads us to the Information Technology Act of 66D, where you have imprisonment of 3 years or fine of lakh rupees. So I would like to suggest people also that not to fake comments, and not to fake over any kind of social media news which spreads, and ultimately, because cybercrime people can definitely track down your IP addresses from whatsoever you are using it, either it's your mobile phone or a laptop or any computers. They can definitely sweep you in and put you inside. Third thing I would like is online frauds. Cyber crimes are in trend just because people are now jobless. People are losing jobs. People have no jobs right now. People are going crazy because of COVID-19. So you can reach, there is a cyber crimes are now our trending cases right now. For instance, આપણે કહીએ ને
Uh-huh.
કે ભાઈ ટામેટા તો 10 રૂપિયા શેર મળતા થઈ ગયા છે, ટામેટા લઈ લો, ટામેટા લઈ લો. અમારા પાસે હવે સાયબર ક્રાઇમ્સ ના એવા કેસીસ આવે છે, just because people are going nuts on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is one thing, and RBI has a very nice amendment in this. That 24 hours ma they can track down your block accounts, and RBI can block accounts, and they are available 24/7 also. So you can definitely go to the bank and stop your bank account, and definitely you can logged into RBI, and you can definitely just stop your accounts, whatever it is, and it is done 24/7. Online numbers મળે જ છે. So these are all these things. Basically, you have to be in your own terms, and you don't have to move more of your social media things that this will happen and that will happen, and don't share your unnecessary views. Don't share your pictures. Don't share your information, using GPS, going through this track. This all leads to cyber crimes, basically.
Right.
Yeah, so these all are things we have to take necessary points.
One of our viewers has specifically asked me to ask you, please throw some light regarding basic traffic related rules which are to be kept in mind.
See, traffic rules are very basic. Wear your seat belts. Okay, first of all, wear your seat belts. There are whole hoardings. Wear your helmets if you are traveling on two-wheelers. Wear your seat belts if you are traveling in your car, because there are traffic police everywhere, every signal, stopping you for and taking you challans for 500 rupees. And one more thing, there are cameras now installed everywhere in Surat. So overspeeding is also one of the major issues that are being created, because e-memo has been started now. So
Right.
memos are such that if you over limit by 60 or 70 in some areas, in on some certain roads, તમારું memo already ફાટીને તમારા ઘરના address પર આવી જાય, because the number plate has been registered in the RTO. So traffic rules are to be seriously to be planned easily, and not to create any husk of it. They are very easy going. They are nothing so far so bad. But yeah, unless and until it is for us, it is for wear a seat belt, so that if you meet no ના કરે નારાયણ તમે મળો કોઈ accident સાથે, but if you have a seat belt, your airbags are safe with you. You can at least save yourself. Wearing a helmet, you can be at least safe. You cannot just break your head, and overspeeding will cause you anyways to death, right? So it's easy going, so it's fine.
A follow-up question for you. Many times police charges or brings in a lot of penalties, various sorts of penalties which you have never thought about. So, how much of those are legitimate, or what should be the basic awareness about a driver? Means I am engaged in some traffic issue. So, what awareness I should have with regards to the penalties?
સી પેનલ્ટીઝ આમાં કેવું છે જયવીર કે એ લોકો પોલીસ વાળા they are not here for like encouraging you for driving rash driving on us. They will only see if at all there is something wrong going with your car, or you are driving something in a wrong lane or something like that. They will not stop you until and unless you are doing something wrong on the road. So they will definitely, they are for us only. Basically, they are doing a very good job out in here and during these times also. So they are just making sure that you are going through a particular way. And challans નું કેવું છે કે પછી તમારા પાસે PUC નથી, PUC ની વાત કરશે, PUC લાવો recently, because PUC has been now more in trend. PUC તમારે કરાવીને રાખવું પડે ગાડીનું, ટુ વ્હીલર્સનું. તો તમારા પાસે લીગલ ડોક્યુમેન્ટ્સ, તમારી આરસી બુકની એક ઝેરોક્સ તમે તમારી ગાડીમાં મૂકી રાખો, so that you can definitely show the police and see I have the documents with me. So there are less chances કે તમારા ચલન્સ નહીં ફાટે. If you have no documents and you are traveling with the car, they even find you suspected, then they have all rights to go with the certain beyond and make through with this thing.
Okay. My last point for the fourth essential element. The COVID scenario has kept a very, what you can say, that understated dispute, which is a potential one, is the dispute in terms of the estate of a person. So, don't you think you must advise your viewers who has some elderly in their house, or some who are going to be estate owners or somewhere, that how much the importance of will, a written will, has?
See, wills are such things. That is one, I would like to say, કે આજે તમારી પાસે પ્રોપર્ટીઝ હોય, ઓર્નામેન્ટ્સ હોય, તો તમને તમારા દીકરાઓને કે તમારા છોકરાઓને જે વિલ્સમાં તમને એવું લાગે કે મારા ડેથ પછી કે મારા જીવત પછી મારા છોકરાઓ સુખ શાંતિથી રહી શકે, કે એ લોકોને હું આટલી મારી પર્સનલ બિલોંગિંગ્સ છે, they are liable to them. So wills can be done normally also in a piece of in a normal agreement. But if the will is registered, then it is the best thing that you can have, because if the wills are registered, it cannot be challenged. Simple wills can have a fake challenging issue also. કે ભાઈ મા બાપ દાદાનો મેં અંગૂઠો લગાવી દીધો ને મેં વિલ્સમાં બાપ દાદાની પ્રોપર્ટી મારા પાસે છે, તો કાલ સવારે ઉઠીને મારો ભાઈ કે મારી બેન કે મારો કઝિન આવીને હક માંગવા ઉભો થાય તો મારો હક બને. પણ રજિસ્ટર્ડ વિલ હોય રજિસ્ટરની સામે, તો it's a proof, because when you do a documentary evidences, you produce documentary evidences just like you do the dastavejes of your properties. It is already the same procedure that has been done with the wills. So so wills are also registered in the same way as the dastavejes are being registered. So I would suggest કે જે કોઈ પણ લોકો wills કરતા હોય ને અત્યારે સારો સમય છે wills કરવાનો, so that wills થી તમારા લોકોનું પાછળનું background સચવાઈ રહીને it can prevent disputes in your whole entire family, and people living in the family will stay with peace, and there will be no kind of ઝઘડાના ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન્સ ઉભા ના થાય. એના માટે will કરી દેવું is better.
So for the summarizing the entire thing, I would like to bring up a short summary of what Priyam has said on the 4 essential legal awareness which every individual must have, whether he is doing business or he or she is doing business or profession or salaried or whatever in the social conduct. So first thing, beware from phishing, banking frauds, and always ring the bell to your local banker in 24 hours to get the defense.
True.
or else there are other recourses available which are available in the Information Technology Act.
Right.
Priyam can definitely elaborate on it. Second is observe traffic rules. But if you are not aware about certain traffic rules, go and make available Motor Vehicles Act,
Motor
which is
Vehicles Act.
available on the RTO website.
RTO website.
Thirdly, he also mentioned about the fake news, or what you can say, information disorder, like
Information
Priyam
disorder.
mentioned. Do not indulge yourself in spreading the panic or spreading some misinformation about something unfortunate happening in our country, city, or in our locality. That will add fuel to the fire, and definitely they can trace your IP address because they have a tremendous surveillance. So
Surveillance,
please
yeah.
do not land into any Information Technology Act related troubles. And
True.
fourth, this COVID scenario told one thing, that life is uncertain. If you
Yes.
have an estimate, always get it, what you can say, coined it in a drafted will, get it registered like a dastavej, wherein a person making the will has to be present.
Be present
So
with
that
two
will,
witnesses.
yeah, that will save family disputes or disputes with your near and dear ones, and
True.
definitely make a lot of things clear for near future.
Yeah.
Now, Priyam, I would like to conclude the session by two things. One, as a legal practitioner, what are your views on the justice delivery system of India, and what overhauls or reforms you as a lawyer expect? And secondly, three tips you would like to give to the bright minds who are the student of law and upcoming lawyers.
See, first point I would like to say is that government wants to improve the ease of living of for common man, but it's a very noble sentiment. And by maintaining rule of law and including taking rough actions, government can best do to make criminal justice system work faster. A good beginning would be announce new courts to every districts, right? But and appointments of new judges would make the work ease, because nowadays cases are being getting piled up in heaps and bounds. So this is the only possible way to load to when the case is loaded to a judge. It is a tremendous job for a judge also to maintain all that scenario with him, because in a day, if he's getting 200 cases or 300 cases on his board, and મહિનાના એને એવા હજારો cases ને deal કરવું હોય, so it's not easy for a judicial system to get all over this, right? So we need a reforming systems or appointing of judges in holding their functioning to account in another property priority. So બધી districtsમાં તમે locally કોર્ટ્સને મેન્શન કરવાનું આપી દેવું, કા પછી સેન્ટ્રલ ગવર્મેન્ટ કોઈ એવા ફોર્મ્સ પર આવી શકે. This is all my basic views that I think about it, because I am a person who goes to court daily. 10 to 6 is my routine, and I see hell out of cases in the court, and I sometimes even I think like you કે આ બધું ક્યારે પતી રહેશે. But there is some so there has to be some management to be done, but it is not easy task for judiciary system also to behave in a manner where it can go very smoothly, because થોડું તો તમારું ups and downs તો રહેવાનું જ છે, piled up રહેવાના જ છે, ને cases તમારા 2, 3, 4, 5 years 7 years સુધી જે ચાલવાના છે તે ચાલશે. But yes, if it is getting a proper way, proper new forms of judges that are being included, then we might have a solution to this, and we might, as a justice delivery system can be made in our short ways. We can definitely try. Yeah. And about talking about that three who are studying as a law or doing internship, I would definitely like to tell them to learn to think critically and logically, because this is all about that, and keeping options wide and not to focus in one area of law. कि खाली તમે criminal કરો છો તો criminal નહીં, you can definitely go to criminal, you can definitely go to civil, you can definitely go to IPR, you can definitely go to revenue, you can definitely go ask for family issues. There are vast, law is an ocean, you can go anywhere, you can just have to catch the wave, right? So, and the third point is be prepared for the marathon. and take advantages of internships when you are an intern. Because when I was doing an internship, I was giving my 100% from morning 10 to 9, and I was getting exhausted. But it's a very helpful for a near future. So these are all the tips, and ready to work for long hours, study hard and never give up, and be realistic in your expectations. These all are things that can be given to the tips for my aspiring lawyers who are coming down the line. But yes, this is all my motivation, because law is like learning every day. I have a switch. I have a board on my desk which says keep learning always, because law will never settle you down. At the age of 20, age of 30, or age of 50, you are learning new laws every day. So I am never retiring from my job. That is for sure. I am continuously working on it. So these all are things that all matters.
That was wonderful. The time taken in discussing certain matters of law was definitely more than 30 minutes, which I could not
Exactly.
realize.
Even I
But
did not.
that is the beauty of law, that law is so vast that it will take hours and hours to discuss merely one point.
True, true,
And
true.
on that note, I would like to thank Priyam for sparing his time from his busy schedule to spread some legal awareness among our dear viewers, and viewers for their patient listening to such definitely helpful interactions. So
True.
I take your leave and thank Priyam on your behalf as well. And I'll be coming up on next Saturday with one more expert on one more topic or some life-changing issue. Till then, please stay tuned and keep our
All right.
page. Please follow both our pages to stay
Yes.
updated. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much,
Thank you,
David. Thank
Priyam.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.